So this tool was all done in RunRev's live code, which is a rapid software development tool. You don't have to be a C++ programmer. It's made for people who are actually not programmers, but you can essentially create applications using this tool relatively quickly. The first thing you do when, in this particular example that I've created, again based on the floating city, is you log in. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my username and password. And once I've done that, you're going to see that these little windows pop up. This is some error checking going on behind the scene for the database. So what happens is you'll see that these two icons show up now on my map. And there are markers for different players in the game, and right now there's just 2 players in the game. This is actually going to be a map that you'll be able to navigate and see, drag to other areas of the map that you don't actually see on the screen. Each player has an icon. The player's icon actually can be moved, so each player can reposition themselves on the map, and that will provide additional information to the player and additional capabilities based on their location on the map. That will update, so you're going to see these messages. That action actually updates the database for my icon's coordinates. So the next time I log in or somebody else logs in, it's going to use those coordinates in the database to lay out all the user icons in the map. That becomes important later on during gameplay. So at this point, you'll see you've got some buttons on the right-hand side. The first one there is My Profile, and if I click it, it shows some information, some basic information right now. Most importantly, it shows what I have in my inventory. A large part of the floating city and a large part of this model is the idea that players trade inventory items between each other to unlock codes and to unlock achievements. So the idea is to collaborate with other players in the game and trade things that you don't have. So if I want to trade, say, my coffee for another player's inventory item, what I do is I have to initiate a trade. So I can go to back to the home screen, and then I can click on another player in the game, and I can look at what they have in their inventory. So now I'm looking at Red Queen, and in Red Queen's inventory are 2 things, toast and towel. And maybe I want to trade my coffee for the toast. So I can initiate a trade by clicking Trade, and then clicking on their, or my coffee, for, say, their toast. And you'll see that they drop down into these 2 boxes below. These 2 buttons here, Temp Auto Message and Offer Trade, will be one and the same, and also Temp Clear Fields. These will all be one button eventually. But what these buttons do individually right now is they'll send a message to the person I'm trying to trade with that I would like to trade with them. So they're just going to get a new message. And then if I click Offer Trade, that creates a record in the database for a new trade. And then finally I can click Temp Clear Fields, and that just clears the fields for me, and I can go back to home. So at this point, I'm logged in as J Patton. If I log in as a different user, the person that I just traded with, that's I Patton. I think I might have fat fingered that password. Nope, it logged me in. So now here's my icon, and here is the new person's icon that just logged in. We'll put them right there in the center. It's going to update their coordinates in the database. And if this person now goes to My Trades, they'll notice that they have a new trade in their current trades. It says White Knight wants to trade coffee for toast. So if I Patton, the player I Patton, wants to accept that trade, what they do is they click on the trade, they click Accept Trade, and then what that will do is that will change ownership of those 2 items. So we'll flip-flop ownership. And then we don't have any other trades. It'll be empty. We can go back to home. And now, if I go to, if I go back now to say, if I log in as another user again, go ahead and log out. I'm going to log back in as my user. And if I check my profile now, you'll notice that I have a toast item, I should say, in my inventory. Right now I don't have any achievements, but sometimes inventory items will have special codes that once you are able to acquire one, you can get awarded achievements, or you can be given a clue as to something you need to do in order to earn an achievement. So at this point I'm going to go into, say, toast and look at its detailed information. So this is inventory detail for inventory item called toast. And notice that there's a clue here, and there's an image of something that's the clue. And it says 1212. And notice down below, I don't know why that's still in there, notice down below that this is a place where the user can enter in key data. So if we enter in key data and submit that data, it checks that data to see if it's valid data, and if it is, the user gets a message, in this case, congratulations, you unlocked a code. Now you can't copy this code anywhere. You have to go back to your profile screen and use the code button to enter the secret code. So if I go back to home, and then my profile, and then click paste code, it puts that code in there for me, and then I can complete this mission. It says, great job, you've completed the mission. And you'll notice now that I have been awarded the Toast achievement, whatever that's good for. So that's how achievements are done. So if I go to return home, and if I log out, I'm going to log back in one more time as the other player to show you messages. So now the other player is logged back in, and if I go to messages, you'll see that originally when I instigated that trade for the toast, it generated this message. So it says, from White Knight, subject, White Knight wants to trade. White Knight would like to trade their coffee for your toast. Visit your current trades to see White Knight's latest offer. We've already done that, so at this point we can just delete this message. And if we wanted to, we could go ahead and create a new message back to White Knight. So here's a list of contacts. This is just a list of current players. Puts that information in there for me. And I can say thank you. Thanks for the toast. And send that off. And that's pretty much it right now. There's no narrative, there's no story behind this. It's just kind of the workings, the bare bones of the structure that would support a narrative or a story behind all this. And that's just as important as creating engagement for students or for game players when you're looking at creating some kind of online game. But in a relatively short amount of time, I was able to duplicate many of the things that were in Floating City. And part of that is primarily from using that software tool from called LiveCode. So you might want to check it out if you're interested in this kind of thing.